Last time, we built the machine. Railroads, monopolies, Carnegie, Rockefeller, the whole apparatus. Today we ask the question the machine never bothered to ask itself. What happens to the people standing inside it? Because here's what's wild about this chapter. Two groups who had almost nothing in common. Industrial factory workers crammed into cities and farmers spread out across hundreds of isolated acres arrive at the exact same conclusion in the exact same 20-year window. Alone, we lose. Together, maybe we don't. Four things today. 1. How industrialization physically changed what going to work meant. 2. How workers organized and how hard the system fought back. 3. How farmers, the most stubbornly independent people in America, built the era's most radical political movement. 4. How it all detonates in a depression that reshapes national politics for a generation. Let's clock in. Start with the floor itself. Before industrialization, a skilled craftsman controlled his own trade, start to finish. He knew the whole process, and that knowledge was his leverage. Factories break that apart on purpose. A trade gets divided into small, repeatable tasks, which means the boss no longer needs your years of expertise, he needs your hands, for 10 or 12 hours, doing one motion over and over. De-skilling, we call it, and it works exactly as intended. Leverage moves from the worker to the owner. The scale is staggering. American manufacturing jobs roughly triple between 1870 and 1900. And that workforce doesn't look like the old craft guilds. It's women moving into clerical work, telephone operating, garment piecework done at home for pennies apiece. It's children by 1900. About 1 in 10 girls and 1 in 5 boys between 10 and 15 are working, some of them 10-year-old breaker boys picking through coal by hand for less than $1 a day. And ownership had a script ready for why this was all fine, actually. Railroad heir William H. Vanderbilt put it bluntly in 1877. If his workers suffered, he suffered too, so really, they were all in it together. Workers understandably found that math suspicious coming from a man with millions. So they organized. The Noble Order of the Knights of Labor, founded in 1869, becomes the first serious attempt to unite all workers, skilled, unskilled, immigrant, black, and women too, under one banner. Membership explodes from 9,000 in 1879 to nearly 1 million by 1885. Then it collapses almost as fast as it rose. Local chapters kept striking against Powderly's official wishes, and public backlash after violence at Chicago's Haymarket Square in 1886 tanked the Knights' reputation overnight, fairly or not. What replaces it is narrower by design. The American Federation of Labor, built around skilled, largely white male craft unions who bargain trade by trade instead of trying to organize everyone at once. Smaller ambition, more durable results. But it leaves women, black workers, and unskilled labor mostly on the outside. 2 strikes define the decade. 1892, Homestead, Pennsylvania. Carnegie wants to cut wages and break the union, so he leaves for Scotland and lets his manager, Henry Clay Frick, do the dirty work. Frick builds a 3-mile fence around the plant, topped with barbed wire and searchlights. Workers call it Fort Frick. Frick brings in armed Pinkerton detectives by barge to retake the plant. Workers open fire from the riverbank. When the smoke clears, 9 strikers dead, 3 Pinkertons dead. The strike collapses anyway. 2 years later, the Pullman strike. Railcar magnate George Pullman built his workers a model town. Clean housing, parks, the works. Model employer, or so he told himself. Then the Depression of 1893 hits. Pullman cuts wages and does not cut the rent his employees pay him for housing he still owns. Genuinely, do the math on that one. Eugene V. Debs and the American Railway Union call a boycott. 260,000 workers refuse to move Pullman cars. Rail traffic stalls in 26 states. And here's the part that should make you sit up. The federal government doesn't stay neutral. 13 people die. Debs goes to prison under the Sherman Antitrust Act, a law written to break up monopolies, used instead to break up a union. Modern parallel, and it's a close one. In 2022, workers at an Amazon warehouse on Staten Island voted to unionize, becoming the company's first unionized U.S. facility. And Amazon spent years afterward in legal challenges rather than negotiating a contract. Same pattern, same tools, just updated lawyers. The company that owns the workplace still, generally, gets to decide how long the fight over it lasts. Now flip to the countryside, where a completely different group is arriving at the same idea. Farmers aren't wage workers. They're small independent businessmen who borrow money for land, seed, and equipment, then repay it at harvest. Problem is, from the Civil War to the mid-1890s, prices for wheat and cotton keep falling. partly because new machinery like the 1878 combine harvester lets everyone produce more, which floods the market and drives prices down further. Farmers respond by planting even more to cover their debts, which craters prices even harder. It's a trap with a perfectly rational farmer at every turn of the screw. Debt, foreclosure, isolation. Farm families are scattered across enormous rural distances with none of the social contact city workers at least had. In 1867, Oliver Kelly founds The Grange, originally just to give rural families some social and educational life. Within 2 years, 14,000 chapters exist. It starts as a book club. It becomes a movement. Through the 1880s, farmers' alliances form across the Northwest, South, and Colored Farmers Alliance in the Black South. And by decade's end, the Northwestern and Southern alliances merge into a serious political force. Their signature idea? The sub-treasury system, a government-backed storage and low-interest loan program so farmers wouldn't be forced to dump their whole crop the second it's harvested. Radical for its time. 1892, the alliances launch a full political party, the Populists. Their Omaha platform calls for the direct election of senators, a graduated income tax, government regulation of railroads and banks, and an 8-hour workday. Reads less like a fringe manifesto and more like a checklist of 20th century reforms, because that's basically what it becomes. Their signature fight is money itself. The country's on the gold standard, which keeps the currency stable but also keeps it scarce. Brutal if you're a farmer drowning in debt, because scarce money means the dollars you owe are worth more than the dollars you borrowed. Populists want silver coined freely alongside gold, expanding the money supply, easing that debt. Free silver becomes the most electrifying financial argument in American politics. And yes, that's the actual literal 1890s version of a fight over the money supply. Then the whole system seizes up. May 5th, 1893, a stock market panic, later called Black Friday, following a wave of railroad bankruptcies. Within months, hundreds of banks fail, a quarter of American railroads go insolvent, and by the end of 1894, nearly 12% of the workforce is unemployed. Ohio populist Jacob Coxey leads an army of the unemployed, some 500 marchers, on a month-long walk to Washington, demanding a federal public works program to create jobs. Coxey's reward in 1894? Police break up the demonstration and he's arrested for walking on the grass at the Capitol. 1896, Democrat William Jennings Bryan absorbs the populist platform almost whole and runs for president on free silver, delivering his legendary Cross of Gold speech. He loses, and losing that election effectively ends the Populist Party as an independent force, but not its ideas. The direct election of senators, the graduated income tax, banking regulation, nearly the entire Omaha platform becomes federal law within the next 25 years. They lost the election and won the century. So here's Chapter 17 in one sentence. Industrialization didn't just build fortunes, it built organized resistance, from factory floors to wheat fields, and even when that resistance lost the battle, in strike after strike, election after election, it kept winning the argument, one legislative session at a time, for the next 50 years. Get your Chapter 17 source response in. Next time we follow this fight into the 20th century. See you then.